Hi guys, this is Miss Bofice, and today we're going to talk about slope from 2 points. So our I can statement today is I can calculate slope from 2 points. And then we are going to label this number 15 if you're in my class. So number 15 in our math notebook, slope from 2 points. So slope from 2 points involves this formula that is right here. M, so slope, because M represents slope, is y2 minus y1, so the change in y, over x2 minus x1, the changes in x. So we've known slope as rise over run, we've known it as the change in y over change in x, and now we're just going to use the formula to do that. So step 1 is you just label your coordinates x1, y1, and then your second coordinate x2, y2. You write the formula out, m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. You fill in the blanks, and then you do the subtractions, and you simplify using the ABC button if necessary. So we're going to go ahead and do an example. So this first one, we have 3, 5, and the coordinate 1, 11. So the first step is that you label your points. So this is x1, y1, and then the second coordinate gets the 2's, x2, y2. Our formula is m equals y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x2 minus x1. And we're just going to fill in those things. So y2 is 11 right here. So the first thing that we're going to do is I put my minus sign. So y2 is 11. So 11 minus, and I just cross it out as I use it, y1, and our y1 is 5. So 11 minus 5, that's the top. And then on the bottom, we do x2 minus x1. So our x2 in this case is 1, and our x1 is 3. So I've plugged that in. And then I just do the subtraction. 11 minus 5 in my calculator is 6. So 6 over, and then 1 minus 3 is negative 2. We have to go ahead and reduce that. Remember, though, that your calculator cannot handle a negative in the bottom, so we automatically just bring it to the top. So negative 6 over positive 2. And then we use our ABC button. So we're going to do negative 6, ABC 2, and it's going to reduce it down for you. So negative 6, ABC 2. And so our slope in this case is negative 3. Okay. So that is example 1. Example 2, we always start off by labeling. So this is x1, y1, because it's the first coordinate. This is x2, y2, because it's the second coordinate. Our formula is m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And then we just fill in that information. So we always start with a blank template. So fraction bar, minus sign, minus sign. y2 is 18, so 18 goes first, cross it out. 18 minus a negative 2, so I'm just going to put negative 2 right here. Cross it out, that's my numerator. My denominator is x2 minus x1, so 2 minus 7. And then we just do the math. So we have to do 18 minus negative 2 in our calculator. So 18 minus negative 2 is a positive 20. And then 2 minus 7 is negative 5. Knowing that our calculator cannot handle a negative in the bottom, I just automatically bring it to the top. So the negative goes to the 20 and the 5 gets to stay positive. And then I'm going to do the ABC button to make sure it's reduced. Remember, to reduce, you use your ABC button. ABC. It is the third one up from your 7. So if you're looking at your calculator, you find the 7 and go 1, 2, 3 up. That's the ABC button. So negative 20 ABC 5 is going to reduce down to negative 4. So our slope is negative 4. Number 3, we always start by labeling x1, y1, x2, y2. The first coordinate gets the 1's, the second coordinate gets the 2's. We write our formula, m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. We write our blank template. So that's our blank template. We start with m equals, fraction bar, and then the subtraction signs. We fill it in, y2 minus y1, so negative 12 minus negative 2. And then on the denominator, the bottom, 1 minus negative 3. We use our calculator. So negative 12 minus negative 2 is negative 10. So that's our top. Our denominator is 1 minus negative 3 gives us 4. The negative's already in the top, so we don't have to move it. The last thing we have to do is reduce. To reduce, we're just going to do negative 10 ABC 4. So negative 10 ABC 4. We do get a mixed number. We get negative 2 1/2. But remember, we cannot use mixed numbers when it comes to slope. So we have to hit second and then ABC again to make sure it's reduced. And it reduces it down to negative 5/2. So if you get a mixed number, remember, just like we've been doing for slope from graphs or slope from a table, you have to hit second ABC again. And it reduces it back. So negative 5/2. All right, we're going to look at a couple special cases. So as always, x1, y1, x2, y2. We fill in our formula, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And then we just start filling things in. So start with our blank template, y2 minus y1, so 10 minus 3. And then negative 6 minus a negative 6. And then we subtract. 10 minus 3 is 7. And then negative 6 minus negative 6 is 0. When we see a 0 on the bottom, we think of the word no, or we can just try reducing it. 7 ABC 0. When you do 7 ABC 0, you get a divide by 0 error. Divide by 0 error. And when you see that error message, it's automatically undefined. So when you have 0 in the bottom, it is undefined. Or if you try to reduce it, it's going to tell you divide by 0, and that error message means undefined. So that's one of the special cases. Lastly, we have 5, 9, and 7, 9. So x1, y1, x2, y2. We start with our slope formula, which is m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. We start with a blank template. So I always suggest you start with a blank template of m equals fraction bar and then your subtraction signs. And we just start filling it in. y2 minus y1, that is 9 minus 9. And then on the bottom, 7 minus 5. We just do our calculating. 9 minus 9 is 0. 7 minus 5 is 2. When we see 0 on top, we think of, okay, that is good. But if we do 0, ABC2, we do get a reduced fraction of 0. So you can either write 0 or you can put the number 0. Either one works. So we've done slope from a graph, which is rise over run. We've done slope of a table, which is change in y over change in x, delta y over delta x. And now we're doing slope from 2 points, which is kind of just like the table, where we're just finding the difference between two y's, and that's your numerator, finding the difference between two x's, and that's your denominator, and reducing as usual. That is all I got for you.